Good morning. I think it's time to get to work. It's really hot. I've been thinking for quite a while now. I want to get my desk space back. My KRK rockets are great, especially when I used to do more audio work, but they're not very fun and they're absolute titans. So here we are, ready for some pure, unadulterated minimalism. Happy new desk. Many compact active speaker systems suffer from a lack of bass or, at the very best, poor quality, often due to the small speaker cabinets that they use. Now, one way to get around that is to add a subwoofer into the mixing pot, and that is what Acoustic Energy have done here. The advantage or the benefit is that because bass travels much more omnidirectionally than do trebles and mids, you can tuck the subwoofer out of the way into a corner where it doesn't have to be seen. Acoustic Energy have taken this concept and used it as an excuse to make these speakers as absolutely minuscule as possible. These wee little lads are 105mm tall by 75mm in width and 85mm in depth, but are deceptively weighty and well constructed with an attractive brushed aluminium chassis. Visually, I really like them. Being so compact allows them to totally get on with that kind of minimalist, clean design. It's not going to be too obtrusive in whatever space that you have them. Perfect if they're on your desk because you'll get all your space back, and ideal in the living room if you're the kind of person who wants good sound but doesn't want to have huge, blooming massive floor standing speakers in the middle of your room. The subwoofer is somewhat less appetizing to look at, effectively being a big black plastic box, but hey, at least they did round the corners. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Because it's a subwoofer, you can kind of tuck it out the way underneath your desk or in the corner of a room. Anyway, it's not going to matter too much. Delving into the box includes all the necessary cables and a small but well thought out remote. With connectivity being routed through the main sub, we have inputs for the analog aux, ideal for mobile phones and computer users. There's also a digital optical for TV or other appropriate devices. Lastly, we come to the aptX for Bluetooth. Wireless connectivity is a must these days, and there are very few bits of kit on the market that don't do it right. And Acoustic Energy have nailed it, as you'd expect. Connecting any device is like peeling a banana. Really easy? Not sure what I thought of when I wrote that. It's not an outstanding array of inputs, but it is pretty much on par with most of the competition at a similar price point, which is about £199 in the UK. There's more competition out there than there is fruit in a greengrocer's, and I'm still not sure where I'm going with these weird fruit and veg puns, but to stand out, the Acoustic Energies have really got to do something special, so let's take a deeper look, shall we? 2.1 speaker systems are something that I think a lot of purists are sometimes skeptical of. It can be actually quite hard to balance a pair of stereo speakers with a subwoofer. It looks here today though that I think at least Acoustic Energy have nailed that. These speakers sound absolutely blooming fantastic. They're clear and even-handed with a thoroughly pleasant tonality, which is actually one of the things I think a lot of inexpensive speakers like this actually fall apart with. They might have a lot of bass, but they can sound just a bit rough and middly and horrible. Yeah, I realise that probably wasn't my most technical description there, but yeah. The satellite speakers being removed from bass and low mid duties means that they can focus on what they do best, which is articulate and musical upper mids and trebles with a really surprisingly good soundstage and stereo imaging. They also have a surprisingly formidable degree of instrument separation and a particularly good stereo soundstage. The low end, being the domain of the sub, means that it can do what it does best. Bass. 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 However, it does rather obviously share some duties of the low bass, which, without getting too technical, can contain some really important musical information. And that means that you still will get better results if you place a speaker as centrally as possible between the two satellite speakers. As such then, this system balances really well without ever getting the sensation that the satellite and the sub aren't quite in it together, man. Like, they don't have the same values, like they're from two different trees. More fruit analogies coming up. But let's not just talk about music, let's also talk about films and let's talk about games. Notch the bass up and you will feel the rumbles and explosions in Battlefield, or the roar of an engine in Drive with Cliff Martinez's dark pulsating synthy soundtrack. Dark synth soundtrack pulsating underneath. And if you're worried that this system won't be able to juice enough apples to make your musical cider, then don't be worried, because they have plenty of sound to pump out. Now, there is one criticism I can lay at the Acoustic Energy Aego3 system, and it's that it has an incredibly poor noise floor. Now, this doesn't particularly bother me because I turn them off when I'm not listening to them, and this noise is only apparent when you're not listening to music, but there is a consistent hiss. This is Audio Llama, so I think it would be a little bit shameful to not talk about them big CDs from way back. As I've often said, I think powered speaker systems are a great way for newbies to get into vinyl with a relatively inexpensive turntable if they don't have like a megabucks budget. I was sent, you might have remembered, a few weeks, Christ, months ago now, a dual MTR40, which I tried a lot with these speakers, and it works really nicely. That turntable has a built-in preamp, so connecting it to it was just easy as anything. You plug cables in the back, it worked great. But I also think these speakers would work nicely in combination with something like a cheap Project or Rega with an external preamp. On the other hand, they would also work going even cheaper, so these speakers cost £200. Pairing them with something super basic like the Lenco L3867 or an Audio-Technica ATLP 60. Very basic turntable, but you could get a system like that for as little as about £300. So I think it's obvious that I think these speakers are canny good. Like, they sound good, they look good, and the fact that they've given me back my desk means that they are grape. So thank you very much for watching this Audio Llama review. Don't ask about the whole fruit pun thing. I have absolutely no idea what was going through my head. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do like it, then click the like button. If you don't like sound, click the dislike button. Subscribe to see more. Click a video over here to watch another Audio Llama video. Click a video down here to see my last dual turntable review. Thanks a lot for watching this slightly surreal experience. Goodbye from Josh, the Audio Llama.